Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2, where last episode, guys, we finally added in an airport in London. More importantly, the UK, because I'm trying to bring back London to its former glory, because right now, if I view all the cities, all the beautiful cities right now, and done by size, London is slightly trailing Amsterdam. Now, Amsterdam has been shown unconditional love for quite some time. It's more down to the fact that it is pretty much the biggest hub going right now, with all the train lines eventually ending to it before they jump on a boat to London. Brussels is nearby as well, which is helping the growth of the area too. But last episode we added in the airport, which now connects to Budapest and Madrid. I almost forgot where it connected to. But I didn't have enough room to kind of squeeze it all in. Now, I did say next episode I'm going to reconfigure all of this, but I've kind of actually noticed something. If I redid this kind of tunnel here, these tunnel systems, maybe a little bit closer to over here, I'll have this whole area free, which I'll be able to place in a big airport. Or I can also delete the Birmingham farm here, which we don't use it, so I feel okay deleting it. And if we do need to kind of get some food, we've got the Nottingham one further up here. But it's really going to open up this area to finally get a big airport in. And that's only because we've got a small airport right now, which means we can only use small aircraft, which is not ideal. I'm having to have 20 odd airplanes just to make sure that we have a consistent, transportation of the people. It made no sense. That made no sense. But you kind of get the gist of it, is pretty much what we've got to do. So, we're going to delete some stuff, probably break London a little bit, and make it lose some of its population. But it's all for a good reason. It's all for a good reason right now. So, as always, guys, if you are enjoying Transport Fever 2 and want to see more, then make sure you do smash that like button down below. If you are new in here, then make sure you do subscribe so you are notified when that next episode does come out. So. Airplanes, let me go back into play mode. Now, if I go for the big passenger airport, you can kind of see the size that we're pretty much working with. Now, I could technically get it in, for example, like here, but there's a lot of stuff in our way that we kind of have to move and delete. So we're gonna wait for this, wait for these trains to go through this tunnel right now, so we can add in the newer one. So any moment now that train will be popping up. Actually, I'll wait for them to get both into the station. Okay, all three of them are coming to the station right now. Right, please, just hold your horses. Hold your horses. Right, the train's coming. Come on, guys, you could do this. You could do this. Easy, 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 and BAM! Right, that is the furthest I can get them all in. Now, I've got to delete everything. So if I delete to here, delete this bridge, and we're pretty much going to delete to this point here. And I'll delete this a little bit further back as well. So I'm going to get that to join up, and it'll all pop up to one side. It's going to give us so much more room. So while we do this, I noticed a few guys saying, Nick, what about highways? Now, I did think about highways, because we still have dirt roads. Look how modern that vehicle is, and it's taking a dirt road right now. We don't really have that many vehicles, for example, in the UK driving those routes. But what about in the European countries? As I'm scanning around the roads, I mean, yeah, you could argue in some places we need it, but I'm keeping the roads really, really terrible at the minute, so they will all hopefully jump onto public transport. But it's something that we'll eventually need to look at. 100%, guys, 100%. So, we only have 3 lines coming in, and we're going to create a 3-line tunnel. That made no sense. Alright, down to 70 odd. Number of tracks is going to be 3. Oh, pressing the wrong buttons already. So, that would go here. And then if I delete this, this would then go into there. So we're all connected on that front. My problem would be now then is make it, well, I say my problem. We don't really have a problem, but there we go. So that comes in. This isn't my next issue as well. I don't fully understand or know where... Right, I assume it's this one. Where all this connects up now at this point. If I bring that to there and to there. So one of these lines don't connect. So where do I have that train line going in? Into that one. So if I just kind of pull this into... Yikes. Okay, they don't really like me doing that, do they? Right, if I delete that back and then bring it into... Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this, boys? Right. Keep it low. There we go. And still nothing. Where does that red stop go to? It is the one that collects the bricks, isn't it? So if that collects the bricks, which side is it going into right now? Stone UK, manage the line. So it gets to the sittings here. Oh, it's on 3. Okay, so if I change it to, like, example 2. There we go, we're back up and running. So, without doing anything else right now, everything's all on the ground, it's all hidden. You can't see it. And it opens up this big area. Now, granted, I still can't put the airport down here. Because, obviously, I got to delete the farm. But that's how we're looking. I've also got to maybe do some terraforming to raise some of the land and whatnot. But say goodbye to the Birmingham farm. It was nice to know you. But you had to go. Just know it was for the greater good. So, reasons I can't get this down. Not too sure. So, we're going to now flatten out the land. So, other brush size. Okay, right. Okay, I can already tell why it wasn't going to work. Just look at this sheer difference in sizes. So, if I go like a big square right now. And we'll get the airport down. And then what I'll do is I'll then go around touching up all the edges so it doesn't look as ridiculous as it does right now. It just kind of shows you. Ah, look at that. So that's interesting as well. Because of the train line underneath. Obviously, you get a few little bumps. So in reality, I want to get the whole of the height up to here. So we are not digging into the tunnels down below. Which does mean I have to come down here a bit more further now, but now we get the gist of it. So, finalize all this real quick. I know it's really shocking. I'm spending millions, but I do have 1.3 billion in the bank. So I feel like we can, like, you know, level out the whole countryside and it's A-okay. So the road just dropped down there. We get that. Airport. Still can't place an airport down. Now, for what reason is that? Is it because it's in line? Well, oh, it's because of the airport here. Right, we're going to delete this. There's a vehicle in the way. Well, I can actually go back into play mode right now anyway. So, this airport. So, vehicle in the way. There's 2 lines on it. What lines are those? 55 and 65. These 2 here. I need a vehicle list, don't I? So what I'll do is we'll sell all the planes. 55 and 56. So they're the 2 lines that go to Madrid and 1 goes to Budapest. So get rid of all that so I could delete the airport. They're not going to be happy about that right now. But that still does not allow me to place down an airport. There's a collision. There is a collision, but I can't for the life of me figure out where is this collision? Is it the runway? Let me delete that little bit of road. Is the terrain not high enough and it still classes it's clipping in? Like, just out of interest, I could place it like over... Yeah. Right, hold on. Pause again. So... Right, if I raise just up to there... So now we are going to be like raised well above the train line down below. Right. So I can't see where the issue would be then for if I'm maybe accidentally causing a collision with the train line underground. That makes sense, right? So then, there we go. For a split second there, something was working. It works here. I'm not going to argue with that, but I just want to play around with a few... Oh, could it be the end of the runway in the road? Because it'll work here. Right, it would work here. I'm not going to argue with it. Okay, it works there. So back to the terrain in them. We're then going to smoothing. Well, I say smoothing it off. It's never going to happen, but... Is that the flatten tool? Yeah. Cut the large chunks out of some of these roads. Just kind of get to the same terrain height as around the... Okay, we can't do all of that. I just remembered why we can't do it all. Because of Can I smoothen? There we go. It's probably a better idea to smoothen it, isn't it? It probably is a better idea to smoothen it. Right, we're going to get too carried away right now. So let me just kind of bring all these off to a nice end and give them a nice edge. Because I've got to create the road as well. Leading up to the airport. It's a shame we can't go... Oh, brush strength. I've been doing all that on minimal strength. Or mid strength. Alright, we got some big drops down here. So how far do I go before I ignore doing the rest of it? Probably now, right? Yeah. Okay, right, sweet. So, road-wise then, we're going to use a... We'll use a medium street. And we'll go straight across just here for the entry point. So then I want to reconfigure some of this kind of side bit leading down to here. So I know the road goes straight out there, but we need like a better connection. So if I delete you, delete this. I know we've got rid of... Oh, why am I deleting that road? Right, we're going to bring this out in a straightish line, connecting you down like what it was once just then. But can I go for a medium country road and upgrade? So country road leading out of this area, which will eventually go into Liverpool right there. So upgrade you like that. So a little bit more of a high speed. And obviously once you get into this area then, we go back down to normal speeds. So, I'm going to kind of continue this road. Going across. And then slowly try and integrate it as part of London. If London then chooses to expand or not. Bringing this across to here. Which I'll bring this down. So it's not the best grid format. But it definitely should be usable. So making sure that we also don't create any tunnels, but try and make it as connected as possible. I'll do one more in the middle here. So I'm preempting where stuff is going to happen and take place. So this road here probably will come around with a little bit of a bend as it ends in there. And I'll try and do the same for this road. So that is going to kind of come up to here. There we go. So all the roads lead to London. Now this one's going to... Oh my goodness, what's going on here? Right, smoothing this puppy off. Now, oh, is this going to be possible? Hold on. Yeah, to kind of go over it. Over the tunnel. So if I delete that, let me delete this again. There we go. Bring that straight down to there. And then we'll create a little cross just here. So yeah, trying to preempt it, saying like, you know, that's how London's going to expand. It probably will never expand that way. But, you know, never say never. And me deleting some of this stuff is obviously not a good idea. Because it destroys and it's now going to drop down my statistics for London. But we got to do what we got to do, guys. We've got to do what we've got to do, right? We have. So hopefully these improvements will be enough to see maximum growth and efficiency come from all of this. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So does it mean them redoing the whole bus route? Maybe, potentially. Maybe, potentially. But let me just kind of add a little bit more to these areas. So even though we are not really building or doing anything over here, I just want to extend the roads just to kind of finish them off in a sense. And just utilize the last remaining bits of space that we do have. So I'm hoping I can build, like, well, hopefully get a few little bits and bobs in there. Right, so my options now are, I think I'm actually going to come off this side. So bending like there. And then into here. Straight down to there. Let it do everything else that it needs to do. Right, that's good. So, taken away from that right now, that's a huge area, isn't it, to work with? It is a huge area to work with. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to then select the London bus route here, manage the line, and we are then going to delete every stop on it as we then literally reconfigure it, and I'm hoping it will then start promoting growth. So, first stop, we are going to have oh wait, that's a point. You do throw in a good point. I'm getting confused. I gotta do the station stops. Modern bus stop. So if I add one over here. So I'm just now trying to add as much in as possible. There was a stop there that we got rid of it. Right, I've thrown a lot of stops in right now, which probably won't make a lot of sense. But if I start here and then go around the Recon, I could do an outer ring bus. So bear with me on this. An outer ring bus that, let's say, comes down to here and then goes back up that way. We have that the kind of the black ring, as you can now see. And then I can't duplicate that, no, can I? So if I then do a, for the first time ever, I'm now renaming a bus route, London 2. Did that actually, are they similar? London, yeah. Then this one, if I then add a line, so if I start here, And then kind of at the same time pick up a few of the stops, allow them to kind of cross over, but not do the full loop in that sense. So we're having them complement, is what I'm trying to say. Now, it doesn't really make much sense or give us much hope when you're dropping them on, like, you know, a bus stop like that. You kind of need, like, the little depots that they're able to pull into, and there'll be loads of people there. But beggars can't be choosers at this point. Right, so vehicles. Where's my vehicle depot? Over here. So if I buy vehicles then, passenger. Ooh, we got a new electric coach. See, now that's electric. The first of all electric vehicles. Now using that is going to pretty much reduce the pollution, making London a more inviting place to live. So I'm going to do that. I just think I've got to put more buses on the route. So if I start with, let's say, 15 buses on the black loop, which is bus 1. Right? Now, why does the yellow route not seem to want to look like it's going to work? Have I don't know. But, oh, no. Pressing all the wrong buttons. So buy vehicles. So if I then put only 10. Now I'm only going to do 8 on that one. Apparently it's called line 57. Did I not rename it? Apparently no. And I think that's down to the fact that I think I selected a new line, didn't I, rather than add stops to the current one. There we go. We've done it in the end. So I've now added that in. There's buses already driving around a London bus route. Oh, manage vehicles. Ooh, okay. I realised what I've done. Realised what I've done. No. I want to sell them. So it's just electric vehicles on that. So what I'm saying is then to London is I'm trying to make the emissions from very poor to at least okay, semi-okay. It just means that I also upgrade the trains and whatnot, and the boats. We'll eventually get to all that. So that's all done. We've got electric buses on the 2 routes that we have available for the passengers. I've now got to sort out the planes. So line 55 obviously is going to come to here. Line 56 is going to come to here. Both passengers. Now that means that I can now have big boy planes, right? So what we're looking at in terms of capacity, 55 for this one. Ooh, damn. It's only a loading speed of 1 though. I'm going for the Bowens, aren't I? Right, we'll go for 2 Bowens on line 55. We'll then go for 2 more Bowens on line 56, and then we'll see what happens over time. Right. So London itself right now would have taken a slight little knock in its confidence from me deleting stuff, which it has. It was 1300. Now it's gone down a little bit, but the growth shall happen slowly. Also, the emissions should. Then again, I have now just put in like a huge airport, so I don't know how that's going to kind of change things. Can I take a look at the emissions? Yeah, the emissions is emissions is coming from over here, from the brick plant. Gotcha. Is it from over here in the brick plant? The brick plant can't even speak words. Or is it more the train station because of the type of trains that are coming through? It could be. So this is what I mean now. I've got to go through all the individual lines and sort them out. Right, we got a little bit of a... Ah, yes. Now, I recently upgraded this line to having hovercraft on. Not really working out in our favour. So if I get rid of those, sell them, then the crew... I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vehicles right now. Actually, if I get rid of one more... I'm going to replace these right now. Now, the biggest problem I've got here, right here, the hovercraft are quick, but they carry small amount of people. Takes forever. Now, what can I do here? Now, there's no such thing as an electric boat, but I'm looking at emissions. 56, 50, 70. Okay, right. These are all in the 70s. There's not really a lot I can do, but this one, or this one's looking the best. So I'm going to replace it with these. Built from the 1980s? Damn. I'll go for this. Alright, you know what? Not really much I can do. Because I do have a lot of people waiting here, like nearly 400 people. So at least those can carry more people. Yeah. Right, okay, so. Done the boats there. What other lines do we have going around here? We have this little back and forth line here from London, which is bringing the food in, right? Now, there's not really a lot of food waiting about. That's because they gotta wait for the food to come from over here. Now, where are these sending food to and from? We've got a line going all the way up. I mean, it's all over the place, the lines. But this line here. Line 1 is obviously my one back and forth to London. I need to show London more love. Line 20. I might get rid of these lines. How do I delete line 20? Just select here, don't I? Alright, delete line 20, so there's more food than available for the other line. So that dark blue line goes all the way to and into Riga. So I'm bringing food to Riga. Am I? Yeah, I am. For a city that's not really growing, because I've literally killed it off. I ended its whole life. Because I killed off the industry. So, what line is that? That is line 21. So if I sell you, line 21, delete you. So then all that food is only going to be processed now for London. It might change the level of this, but at least all the food coming in right now is solely for London. So it needs the train to come down right now with more food. It'll start churning. Oh, then we've got this line as well. I forgot about this line. Lots of food gets placed in. Alright, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. So that's going to be interesting then. So how are we looking now then? So London, still fighting. We're still got to catch up. The emissions is very poor still, so we got to sort this out. So I think it could be down to also the trains tearing through on here. So we'll go through each one now and sort it out. So we'll start by first upgrading the rail line so we can make sure, 1, it's all high speed, and 2, all electric, good to go. Which is quite a painstaking task to do this. So it's nice when they allow us to do it on wider stretches of rail. Might as well get all these set up as well while we're doing it. And then we're going to take a look at the trains as well. Right, I've killed off that train there. I think it's because I've made it... I've got to change what type of train it is. But we'll get all this sorted right now. We'll just kind of do the generic stuff going around. And then tools to upgrade it to... We're going to upgrade all this first. This is the downside when you kind of build and, like, I won't say extensive setup, but just why won't I get that? There we go. When you build something from years ago, And you got to upgrade everything. Why won't that one upgrade? That was weird, wasn't it? There we go. So that's what we got to do to upgrade all these stations. Is it because there's a train going through it doesn't want to work or upgrade? Oh yeah, I think it's because there's a train going through it. Right, I do all the stations here. Just kind of sort them all out. High-speed rail next. And once this is all done, we're okay. High-speed track tool. Why did I upgrade the first time around then? It's just a pain. Such a pain to do this. Is there like a button you can press that like goes, yeah, whole station, whole line. Everything on this line will be upgraded. Because that would be such an amazing tool, wouldn't it? Right, this station here. Everything I gotta do right now is to get rid of these diesel trains. So hopefully reduce the emissions. Right, okay, sweet. So, London right now, very poor, minus 70% on the old emissions. When we view the emissions, this is what it is. So we're hoping that we can reduce everything around it. Definitely got to sort around here right now. I don't know whether that's down to the bricks. Plants doing what they're doing. If so, I might kind of kill them off and then get the bricks from like out of the country, just so I can make sure London is really, really clean. Because that's affecting us big time. Could be the airport too, don't get me wrong. Could be the airport too. But we got to do what we can, and we'll first start with the trains. So, I want to start with the brick train first, which is just here. So if I just go into now pause mode. So this train here, we're going to manage the vehicle, and what we're going to do is we're going to simply replace it. So right now it has 13 wagons on the back. Right, so electric. What type of train is it? Does that train even exist anymore? No, no it does not. So we're looking at also as well how much of the upkeep it's going to cost us. Now obviously diesel 1.3 million, the cheapest one. Cheapest electric 2.7 million, but it's what you've got to do if you want to lower the emissions. Cargo, so we're looking at now it needs to fill up with bricks. So we need this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll do a 200 capacity. So it does make it a little bit longer. But then that should, like I said, have very, very reduced emissions. So the other train we got then is the one that goes, this one here. One that picks up the goods. Let me just double check this line. So it picks up the goods and then drops. No, sorry, no. Picks up plastic and then drops plastic off. That's what that one does. So okay, it does 104 capacity. So I'm going to manage this vehicle. And we're also going to replace this. So electric. It's probably going to mean that I'm making less money on these. But it's not like I'm struggling for money, is it? Alright, plastics come in the form of this one. 200 capacity. Replace you. Nice. And then the other wagon tearing through here is this one. Now this one's picking up the oil from London and then taking it to over here to get turned into plastics. See the amount of smoke it's then producing? Damn. 108 capacity, by the way. So again, same thing. Electric, bam. Cargo wagons. Does 108. I'll put this up to a 200 capacity. Bam. There we go. So all in trains right now are purely electric and doing minimal pollutions to the area around us. Now there is trains, passenger trains that do come in that we'll have to upgrade as well. Now, not saying that that's going to solve all my issues, But now the traffic stations apparently is good because obviously I've upgraded them to modern times. But the emissions, if I fast forward now, give it a little bit of time to kind of settle down. I don't think we'll see much change, to be honest. Residential thing here. So is that just showing us residents, average and current? Now it all kind of resorts around this. Now I don't know whether it's the actual station itself or whether it's this or whether it's just a generic area. But then as I look around the map, I'm looking for another brick area over here, but this one's obviously not functional at the moment. It's very red over here, but obviously we're not even using that, but it's red there. Now is that down to the airport? Let me find another place with an airport. Oh, hold on. Aha! It's the airport, isn't it? It is the airport doing maximum loudness. Which is probably why it's a good idea to have it kind of like a little bit out of the way slightly. Because having an airport so close to a major city is probably not the best of ideas. I can see over here where the edge of the runway, loud. Now how much does that affect Madrid? Minus 100. Now is that stopping the growth? Because to compete with Amsterdam and Rotterdam, they have very, very minimal noise emissions. That's a tough one to then kind of work out what I want to do with it. That really is. So I've done as much as I can in terms of reducing the noise being emitted. I gotta sort this out as well. From vehicles that come in and out, as we've now switched them all to electric. So I've really reduced that. Right. So yeah, okay, I see how it works now. Because obviously, plane comes in, loud as hell. This reduces here because the noise is from when the plane took off. So if I fast forward them, right, and you'll see how this noise then changes. It makes complete sense. So another plane comes in, so it's loud over there. So the noises change. So this is quite good. Can you see the average where the average noise is, but the current is more important to look at. So there's diesel vehicles here transporting cargo. But you can see this train comes through, which doesn't help. Obviously, I've got to turn that to electric. This train that pops up here doesn't help. And then when they take off, that is where the majority of the noise is coming from. Wow! That is so cool. Like, come on. I mean, I don't really pay attention to this stuff, but yeah, when you get two planes take off at once, whew, that's juicy. So it would be nice if I can maybe put the airport down here and do a train line that connects over to it. Oh, that would change a lot of things, wouldn't it? Now, do you reckon that is what is making London fall behind slightly? Maybe. So let me manage this vehicle right now. We're going to replace it. Actually, no. We're going to edit it. I'm going to remove you. But you're already electric, aren't you? Can I cancel that? Because you're not the train I want to edit. It's the train up here, isn't it? Right, hold on. Get rid of you. That train there. Manage vehicle. I just want to quickly edit it. Remove that and replace it with an electric end. Which is there. There's only one of them, isn't there? Yeah. Modify it. Modify this one. So even though I've got to move the airport, I understand that. But as if I can help in other little ways here and there for the other train lines, you know, I can reduce the maximum what's going on right now. So in a moment where there's no emissions going on, I don't think it stays long enough to it. Yeah, okay, it did drop down to 60%, which is good. But I've got to do better. That kills us off, doesn't it? Damn. It does. So what I could do is I can use London right now as having an additional train line that comes down to here and having an airport take off here. So I want to get it going back and forth this way so the noise doesn't hit London too much. But then also have a train line over so they can connect over a whole lot easier. Thus making London grow even more, he says. Now there's no way, shape and form I can even change these cargo vehicles, is there? Like to electric form? Is there such thing as an electric cargo vehicle? I mean, right now we've got them wagons on, which I don't know what emissions they do. But these do emissions of 71. These, so what we're transporting food. So all cargo 67. All cargo 66. Urban e-truck 62. So that's the lowest I can replace it with. So if I replace it with all of that. Now it's not really an electric truck, so to say, electric van. Or is it? I don't know. But I've upgraded to a newer facility. Newer vehicle facility. What am I talking about? So then on a current, you see the bus is going around anyway. So loud from the planes. We've got to sort that out. We have to. Look at your boy right now going so eco-friendly. And I do know there's a train coming in, a steam train coming in as well, or a diesel train, one or the other. I know I've got to sort that out, but I've got to upgrade the whole line going all the way up to Glasgow. Right, let's take a look at doing this then. Now this is going to be really interesting. What I'll do first is delete the road, because I got to flatten out the land. So flatten it out, and I think I'll pick here. Right, let me pause. So flatten tools here. So I push this all the way back. And we're going to use this right now as trying to create our airport system. So I'm spending millions right now. Now this is actually Cornwall and Devon in the UK, the counties. So your boy is spending millions on flattening Cornwall and Devon for the sake of being able to fit in a freaking airport. Now these guys will not be happy. If you're familiar with Cornwall and Devon, these guys love their pasties. Now they're about to love their airplanes. So just from the kind of... Oh, wrong button. Airplanes. Just want to understand how we go. So if anything, I want it like this. Or maybe like that. No, we'll have it like this. So it's probably... Yeah, it's going to cause some destruction over Liverpool and Manchester. But I can go there and it kind of then goes in between Liverpool and Dublin. Right, okay. So I've got a lot of land I need to kind of claim. But this is what you got to do if you want to, you know, be the best, be the biggest in the world. I've got to sort this out. So we're reclaiming our own bit of land, so we could build a beautiful airport that doesn't hurt the environment. The Welsh are not going to like the fact that I'm now terraforming England closer to their shores. Alright, so how do I want it again? Like... Let's do it very minutely. Like that. Right, sweet. So, which means I didn't need to kind of do all this as much as I did. Can have that little bit there stick out, part of the fun. And do all this around here too. So eventually I might extend it to have like additional runways. You never know. But we got to get set up a nice little system anyway. Right, glorious, glorious, glorious. So at this point then, we're going to want to first build in a street. So the street would obviously go across just here. standard stuff. And then for the train building, we'll have a, well, it would be an end line, but I might as well just get them like coming out like this here. So I push that down to there, so I got more room for a turn. And then I'm going to want him to get him connected over here. So track wise, he's going to have to come from this side. So we have a train coming in there because it needs to hit up the cargo platform. So what I'll then do then is have this train line here kind of connect over, and on the outer skirts then I have a line that comes out. Now obviously as time it goes on, it does slowly elevate upwards, but apparently the slope is too much already. And there's no way I'm able to reach that now, is there? There we go. So bringing this all the way down to here. And then bring it down to 1. So it's instantly underground. So I can, if I want to, I can bring a road across to connect up down to there. If I want to bring buses or something over there or whatnot. But yeah, that does what it needs to do. If I do a new line from here to over there, perfect. But I've just got to sort out the signals anyway. So that's already kind of set up. So what I could then say is for those two plane lines right now, 55, instead of going to London Airport here, we actually bring them over to here, which is classed as London Halt. London Airport, then to London Halt as well. So then I can delete this. Goodbye. Goodbye. And then sort out the signals. So these guys wait, they can wait here. And then you would wait there and there for the crisscross. Now, oh my goodness me. Look at that. I'll smooth it instead. So now then, we just got to sort out. That's giving me so much space around here, hasn't it? Now we've got to sort out a train actually on that line. And because it's predominantly underground, I don't really have anything that can connect to it. So what I'll do, we'll just quickly throw in right now a little thingy just there. There we go. Now technically, now if this is not the case, I'm going to be mad. The whole of that track should be good to go. There's all good. It should definitely be good over here. Yeah. So then, just a passenger train. Nothing crazy. Doesn't need to be hugely high capacity. 130 by. Goes on what would then be considered line 20. We're missing electric tracks, which should be for here. There. Right, so play. If the train comes out now. There we go. So, that has completely switched everything around. It really has. Now, it does mean that passengers can't get to the airport via bus, which is okay for the moment. It's okay for the moment because the buses do bring them all into the centre, which they can hop onto a train and skedaddle out of here. Which, if I fast forward now, because it'll take a while for the planes to kind of redirect themselves, but all the pollution, noise pollution, happens over here. So then, we should see a dramatic reduction in emissions around the London region. Which, that train's a big offender over there, isn't it? So you can see a plane land there and here right now where it causes the emissions. So now I'll wait for one to take off. Wow, I've never seen London. It looks so good. It looks even better than Amsterdam at this point in terms of emissions. Don't it? So a plane's now about to take off, so you can see the emissions then take in effect. So he's got to wait for this plane to land. It's crazy, isn't it, man? You don't realise this stuff, do you, until you kind of check it out. Look at my terraforming over there. Wow. So a plane now takes off. And the emission, as it goes off right now. So it's going to, the higher it goes. So by the time it gets to Dublin, the emissions are gone. The time it turns to go down to Budapest, this way, the emissions are gone. So it only really does it there, which we can live with that. That's a lot better, isn't it? It is definitely a lot better. But it'll take a while right now for all our routes to kind of redirect. So, with London then, the very poor emissions are now 50%. I'm wondering as time goes on, does that then improve? Does it take a while to drop down to 0? Not saying that it is going to drop to 0. Because now emissions... Aha, there's that train just come in. So, pause. So that steamy train has now come in. We're going to manage this vehicle really quickly and we're going to edit it. So I know the rest of my train tracks are not fit out for this. It has 107 capacity. So if I do electric, throw you on. Cargo. 160 capacity will do that. So yeah, can't replace it because I've got to sort all this out. So I'm going to do all the tracks leading in. Which is going to be a big pain, but some of it, there should be long stretches. Alright, it's not too bad. And then just do Glasgow really quickly. And then high-speed rail. Get all this sorted out. And then I can eventually then go on in the future to upgrading all the other train lines. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. All there done. I really wish there was an upgrade all button. But I suppose it's better than nothing, right? So that's now all literally done. So I can put electric, I can put high-speed rail, I can do all the jazz on it right now. So manage vehicle, edit it. Right, in reality, I'm just going to replace it. It'll be a lot quicker. So cargo, new wider tanks as well. We'll go for 160 capacity, replace. Done. So that train now coming into London is doing minimal pollutings compared to the previous train that was coming in. Also, passengers are now awaiting. Where's that train? So here's that train right now. It has 118 people on board. I didn't realise we're going to have so many people waiting for this train. But that's now going to come in. So let's see how many, how much money it actually makes. Nearly 1 million. So that is classed as line 20. So back over here now, line 20's got 43 on board. And obviously that will just keep increasing with every bus that drops people off. It'll also increase when the train comes from Glasgow and Liverpool and drops people off. So you can set numbers now up to 60. Interesting. So here comes a train coming down from... is it that one? Is it this one? That's a diesel train, isn't it? Right, let's manage this vehicle. And I'll replace this right now. So electric, passenger, do 198 capacity. That's now being replaced as well, so it'll be a lot quicker. That's our oil line right there. This one's got 100. Wow, it's got 100. How many people are waiting at these platforms? I mean, eventually collect them all as time goes on. But yikes. That's now taking one person back. Alright, not too shabby. There we go. We've now got the emissions down to 30%. So they are reducing. They are reducing right now, don't get me wrong. So train comes in. There's going to be pollution no matter what, but this is probably the next issue of having a train station so centralized. But there's only so much you can pretty much do. Now, why is this train here so polluty? Is it because it's in the open? There's nothing much I can do about that, is there? It's the lowest emission out of all the electric trains, so I just suppose it's just one of those things, isn't it? So where do we stand right now? It's now into the 1300s. Oh, it's actually only... Wow! It's 14 behind Amsterdam. Amsterdam has not grown that much. We're now down to 20% mediocre. So now we're looking at the station quality. So stations right now. We got a bunch lying around. And you can see in areas where it's very poor. Meaning that they need more people on this. So London bus here. So if I manage vehicles, we've got a decent bus, but predominantly they're getting to this point and they're pretty much filled up. Now I can't. You can't replace a stop, can you? Oh, you can. So replacing with a large glass roof. So not to say that improves the station quality. Ah, I know what the issue is. It's because that there is a transport between the two lines. We have one that happens over here. We have one that happens over there. So that is probably where you want to maybe switch it out for like one of these. But obviously to do so is going to cause a little bit of a kerfuffle. So if I demolish that real quick. Now it is going to destroy the houses around it. So maybe I push it over to the side to destroy minimal housing. But that allows them to kind of wait in here. So they all turn into here instead. Now if I go back to those lines, which will be the bus lines here for London, it's classed as the avenue. So the avenue here, I make them switch onto that side. So they're on different sides right now. So they're not all on the same section. So not saying that improves the station. It's a little bit better, but it doesn't improve it. But it at least allows us to kind of see how it rock and rolls. So it's this line here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, so that I put like 15 on the other one, didn't I? So passengers. Again, trying to reduce emissions. So if I buy another 5, no, let's buy another 8 vehicle. No, 7. We'll push it up to 15 vehicles. Because there is, like, over 100 people waiting on that stop. And it's not really picking too many people up. So that kind of happens in a lot of the areas. Now, I'm wondering, in the other areas for the other stations, like this one over here, there's a lot of people waiting. Is this a crossover one? Now, that one's not. Again, that's on the yellow route. So what we're thinking is then, with adding an additional 7 buses on the route, it should then, once they all get to this stop here, that we're picking them all up. We'll see how time goes on with this area. But it's interesting, isn't it? We've kind of solely focused on London this episode, but I've actually learned quite a bit. I really have. So that's put down our quality of our stations now to -10%, so we're also improving consistently. To the point right now where we're now -10% on the old emission front. So that's now gone purple. So this should, as time goes on, also reduce. Just got to wait for those additional 7 buses to make their rounds. But at the same time, adding more buses on the route does obviously go on to then create more emissions through here. Now that is also a yellow route. So it's mainly the yellow route, which the yellow route is the inner loop. Which we're seeing the majority of the issues arising from. But like I said, we should see some improvements. That's coming in with 17 people on board already. 17 people on board. Can't pick up anybody else. It was like a wasted bus stop, wasn't it? So, yellow route, 17 people on board already. 12 people on board of this one, but it's the black loop. Yellow loop, 70 people on board already. So it dropped a few people off. If that, I don't think it did. So they're coming from over here, which is a lot of people waiting already. So I need more buses on that loop, don't I? Now the difference in emissions is minimal. But I still want these though, just because it is a lot less. So I'm doing another 10. At that point, you start to think to yourself, trams, right? You do start to think to yourself then at that point, trams, or maybe even a third set up and loop. So where do all these buses head to first? I think they all get divided, don't they? There's a lot of people coming off here being transferred as well, or maybe even like doing like a train loop. But again, it all comes down to emissions, man. But we'll keep an eye on this though, because if it becomes like a huge problem, then obviously it's not working out for us. But we'll see what happens. So, where are we now in the list? Hallelujah! London is now #1, boys. It is now #1. Comparing it with Amsterdam, Amsterdam still hasn't grew any bigger. Berlin is catching up slowly. But when you take a good look at London, stations for London and Amsterdam are both good. Traffic, very good. But the difference is the emissions are good in London and poor in Amsterdam. But Amsterdam still has a higher percentage in growth. It really does. Public transport is still taking more people on. Private transport, a lot less, but then you could argue that's because of how good the public transport is. That's the argument you could make. We're now finally below 100 here. And how are we looking over here? So, as long as we keep collecting people over here, there'll be more available to pick up there. So it's just, you got to wait for them revelations to go through. This is quite a busy one, which is now reduced. So let's take a look at now at the station front. That is now a lighter shade of pink. As more and more people do get picked up. Like I said, it will happen over time. It's crazy how that becomes so populated, isn't it? But it's just because it all gets bottlenecked. Now down to 70. Would you look at that? 60 right now. And that's going more and more blue as we speak. We should be applying the same logic to many, many other places. Like you can only see right now in Hamburg. Damn, it's not looking too good. What about in Madrid? The airport? Shocking. And that line is taking us over to Budapest, isn't it? We need more planes. But I don't care. Because we've gave London so much freaking love right now. It's slowly expanding, slowly growing. All those little extra bits I put down here have now all filled in. They're slowly pushing their way up to where the original airport was. It's happening, boys. It is happening. Lots more food available for them to collect. We're on to a winner. We truly are. Now that passenger line going back and forth up here, I'm going to have to add a few more passenger wagons on it. But at the same time, it wouldn't go amiss if I also added a secondary train going up and down. So I'll pick up a bunch of people right now. So let me select that train. What's the money been like on this? It's always made money. Maybe that year didn't do too bad. But you can pick up a lot more people now at this point. So we're just playing the waiting game as that train now comes down. How far away is it? Ah, it's here already. Wow, that was quick. So it comes in. It'll make a big chunk of change. I got the most money it's ever made. Now then pick up pretty much everybody waiting here. And then skedaddle back out of here. So that now has caught everybody up. So we're doing alright, mate. Look at that. Station quality now is, you know, 0. Good stuff. Emissions are still there, but it is a big city. A lot of vehicles going around. There's only so much you can do. So I'll accept that that is as good as we're going to get it. I'll accept that. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. So, we've officially done it, guys. We've made London the biggest city in Europe right now. We've made it... Oh, it's now got very good on the stations. We've now crawled back and claimed its rightful ownership. Actually, Amsterdam's slightly grown a little bit. Which means that we can now go continue the expansions in other places, other parts, other towns, other cities, and create more industries. Now that we've learned... I feel like I've learned so much in this episode. So now it's creating the #1 spot. We'll go sort some other places out until it eventually loses its crown again, and we'll come back and do more expansions. But damn! London is on steroids. I love it. I love it. Little problems here and there. We'll keep it rising right now because we've done quite a lot of change, so we're going to see how it all goes. Might create a decent road connection between Liverpool and London, but I don't feel like I need to because there's not really that much traffic on these routes anyway. But yeah, not too bad. So for today, guys, I think we're going to end it here. Hope you did enjoy this. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So good. Bye.